Hi class, this is Professor Bankert here. This video is to help go through some of the things on the syllabus. Please read the entire syllabus, read it closely. I encourage you to look at the course schedule on the syllabus, pay close attention to due dates. You can set Canvas notifications so that you'll be notified with various due dates and things like that. So please set it up so that you know when things are due and that you get things in on time. Another thing to note, I set up the course so that modules is the primary thing you will use on Canvas. So when you go to the Canvas shell, on the left-hand column, you've got a whole list of things, a home page where there's an introductory video. I encourage you to watch that. There's a syllabus link on the left-hand drop-down list on Canvas. That's where you'll find the document, and that's probably where you found this video. And then you'll also see a thing for modules, and then the course is 7 weeks long, and so the modules are set up so that you can go to week 1 module. Everything you need for week 1 is there. It's going to tell you what to read, when your assignments are due. Same for week 2, week 3, and beyond. So really get familiarize yourself with the modules there. For this video, I want to talk some about the syllabus. I'm going to share my screen. So we'll go through the document. I'm not going to go through everything, so you'll need to read it on your own, but I will highlight a few things. So if you'll see here, this is the syllabus that you'll find for critical reasoning. You have a description, but let me tell you just a little bit about what the course will be. Ultimately, there's 2 different types of reasoning. Inductive reasoning, which is probabilistic reasoning. So we make arguments based on probability. So part of the course will be looking at inductive arguments. Part of that is also fallacies of reasoning. You have inductive fallacies. We call them informal fallacies. We'll be looking at some of those. We'll be looking at some of the virtues related to logic and reasoning, intellectual virtues like being open-minded and being curious. The second part of the course is called deductive reasoning, and that's formal logic. It's reasoning by necessity. So inductive reasoning is by probability, deductive reasoning is by necessity. We're going to look at some symbolic logic because deductive reasoning is much like math, arguing by certainty, and we'll look at some of the fallacies related to deductive reasoning. We call them formal fallacies. So you've basically got these 2 parts of the course: inductive reasoning, which is probabilistic, deductive reasoning, which is by necessity. For me, the real goal of the course is to pursue truth. Philosophy is about pursuing truth with an open mind, listening to the best argument. What undergirds the whole course is we pursue the truth best by looking at good arguments. Where do good arguments point us? We pursue truth by avoiding bad arguments. Don't go where bad arguments lead us. So if we learn how to make arguments well, then we're going to have a much better chance of pursuing the truth. You can see my information here. This is my name, Joe Bankert. My cell phone, you can call or text. My office is located in Williams Hall, and my email. Please communicate with me. I stress this. Don't wait until the semester gets out of control. Talk to me up front about if you get sick, if someone in your family passes away, if something happens. I need to know as early as possible so I can work with you. I'm very gracious when students communicate what's happening in their lives. I'm not very gracious when after the fact in week 7 you say, you know, Dr. Bankert, I've had a really hard time. That's why things have been late. So you've got to talk to me up front, and please communicate as much as possible. You can see the learning goals and objectives. I'll let you read these on your own. These are the kinds of things I'm looking for. I'm trying to assess through various assignments. This is a general education class, and the outcome for general education that I'm trying to assess is, can you evaluate arguments using logic and critical thinking? Can you construct an argument using logic and critical thinking? These are the general education outcome that I'm looking for here. There's one text, and that is The Power of Critical Thinking. It's vital that you have this text and that you have the correct edition. You can see that there are some online resources related to that text that might be helpful to you. You can see the technology requirements that you'll need. So if you don't have these requirements, please let me know. There are also modules and activities, and this is again where it's vital that you familiarize yourself with Canvas, looking at modules, when things are due. For every assignment, for every paper, the instructions are on that assignment. The due date is connected to that assignment, and the point total is connected to that assignment. But please familiarize yourself so that it doesn't come as a surprise. I expect things to be turned in on time, so it's vital that you look at that. There will be readings regarding the assignments, and so you'll want to make sure you do those readings before you engage the assignments, or they'll be very difficult. There will also be written assignments due, right? So sometimes there are practices, there are exercises related to critical thinking. Sometimes there are papers where you're forced to make an argument or evaluate an argument. There are various skills in the class. So again, sometimes it's like homework, practices, exercises that you would find maybe in a math class or something. Other assignments will be written work, like you might find in a literature course related to critical thinking and argument making. Some exercise sets are worth 10 points, some are worth 20. Again, that's going to be on Canvas. You can also find the point totals on Gradebook. Some of the papers will be 50 points. Some of the papers, the final paper, for instance, is going to be worth 100. So you'll want to know what each assignment is worth so you know how I'm weighting it, how much effort to put into it. There are going to be 4 papers in the 7-week course. There's a logical vulnerability paper. The instructions are on Canvas. There are written instructions on Canvas as well as video instructions on Canvas. The logical vulnerability paper ultimately is looking for you to point out where is an area where you are closed-minded. Where is there an area where you have a hard time listening to the other side? So some people say, well, I am pro-death penalty, and I just can't understand why anyone would be opposed to the death penalty, right? So you would want to identify you being closed-minded to the death penalty as a logical vulnerability. I don't want you to look at shallow things here. So it's not about, I love dogs and I hate cats. I can't understand why anyone would like a cat. I don't want that. I'm looking for things related to theology, morality, politics, things where there are important discussions where you have a hard time seeing both sides of the discussion. So again, the instructions are on Canvas to give you more depth, but that's what I'm looking for in that logical vulnerability paper. Where are you closed-minded? Where do you have a hard time listening? The informal fallacy paper, this is where you are going to look through social media, letters to the editor, articles and things to find an informal fallacy. Find a place where someone has made an informal fallacy. You will highlight it. If it's on Facebook, I want you to take out the names or change them to protect the guilty, right? And then you'll say, here's an informal fallacy that I found. Here's why it meets the definition of the fallacy in question. And then here's how I would improve it. So that paper wants you to find a fallacy, identify it clearly, explain why it meets the criteria of the fallacy, and then how you would do a better job supporting it. There'll be an inductive argument paper. So here you will use one of the inductive strategies in the class, which we're going to go over, and then you will apply that strategy to a topic. You know, one of the inductive strategies is a causal argument. A causes B. You might say, in this paper, I will argue that poverty helps cause crime. As poverty rates increase, crime often increases. I'm going to create a causal argument, an inductive argument here. Again, the instructions are on Canvas, but this is where I want to see, can you construct an argument supporting a thesis? In the very last week, week 7, the whole week will be spent researching and writing your argument paper. It's worth the most. It's worth 100 points. It's a big assignment, so I'm giving you a week to do that. The video instructions are on Canvas and the written instructions are on Canvas so that you can begin looking at that argument paper. Within the syllabus here now is your overview. What will you be expected to do each week? So you can see here, week 1 is an introduction to critical thinking. Monday, I want you to read chapter 1 in the text. I want you to view the lecture that I've created with this title. This is all going to be under Module 1, right? Read this in the text, view the lecture in Module 1, and then complete this assignment, critical thinking questions, and complete it by Tuesday, 9 a.m. So on Monday, you're going to read the chapter, you're going to view the lecture, you're going to start working on this assignment. I want it completed by Tuesday at 9 a.m., turn it in on Canvas. So this is week 1, you can see here, right? Tuesday of week 1, I want you to complete the assignment chapter 1 exercises, and the exercises are listed here. I want you to post these exercises to Canvas by Wednesday at 9 a.m., right? Ideally, you would get this done by Tuesday night, but you might need until Wednesday morning to complete it, so that's when it's due. Wednesday of week 1, I want you to view the lecture here, because my lectures are going to help you. I want you to complete the assignment argument assessment, and I want you to post that to the discussion board, which is under week 1 module, right, by Thursday midnight. So you're going to view the lecture, you're going to start working on that assignment, it's due Thursday by midnight. On Thursday of week 1, you're going to read chapter 2 in the text, The Power of Critical Thinking. I posted a lecture here that it's going to help you, so watch that lecture. And then I want you to post 2 peer responses to the discussion board post argument assessment, right? Again, you're going to look at people who have posted that, and you're going to post 2 peer reviews. You can see the point totals for everything there. And then finally on Friday, chapter 2 exercises, because you've read chapter 2 on Thursday. On Friday, you're going to complete these exercises. You're going to post them to Canvas on Friday by midnight. So in a quick overview, you can see week 1 each day what I want you to do when it's to be completed and how much it's worth. Again, you can see the same information on Canvas under modules. Saturday and Sunday you have off. Week 2, we're going to start with fallacies. And again, on Monday, I want you to read chapter 4, view the lecture, complete the assignment by Tuesday, 9 a.m. Each week, each day of each week is given to you right here in the syllabus. And again, you can find it under modules. Familiarize yourself with the schedule, look through. If you have any questions, please let me know. This is a vital thing to make sure that we're all on the same page, right? That you know what's expected of you, you know when things are due. Each week, right, the assignments are due there. You can see the course schedule here. This just tells you, here's what I'm looking for week 1. So you can see week 1. Here are the main things I want you to learn, and here's how I'm going to assess you. Here are the actual assignments that's going to assess, right? Week 2, I'm looking for us to learn the fallacies. I'm going to assess that through these assignments. Week 3, we're going to learn inductive arguments and deductive arguments, sort of argument basics, how to make an argument, how to create a thesis. Here's how I'm going to assess how you're doing. Week 4, we're going to look at the specific inductive argument types, and I'm going to assess how well you're doing on these assignments. So you can kind of get an overview of the course there. Here's how you'll be graded. 7 weeks. There's exercises and assignments that are worth 250 total points throughout the 7 weeks. There's going to be 5 papers due. We've looked at those, right? Excuse me, 4 papers due. We've looked at those, the fallacy paper, logical vulnerability paper, etc. Worth 250 points. So within the course as a whole, there are 500 total points possible. And here's how you'll be graded at the very end of the course. After you completed 7 weeks, I will look at your total points, and I will use this grading scale. 480 to 500 gets an A. 450 to 480 gets an A minus. This is just straight percentage, by the way. So if you want to know, what do I need to do on that final paper to get what grade, you can just look at how many points have you earned, right? How many points do you need to earn what grade, right? Straight percentage, 500 points due during the course. I don't collect late work, right? So if you turn something in late, it's not going to get points unless you have talked to me ahead of time and you said, I'm sick, Dr. Bankert, can I get an extension? And I will respond yes or no. My mom passed away, I have to fly to Connecticut, can I get an extension, yes or no? Don't turn things in late. All assignments are due Mountain Standard Time. If you're in a different time zone, make a note of that. All things are due Mountain Standard Time, okay? So then here's a list of expectations. I expect you to be logging in, reading, spending time on the course, right? Communicating with me, communicating with classmates when necessary. My policy on plagiarism, don't copy. It's so easy to cheat now with cutting and pasting, but you will fail the entire course if you plagiarize. You can plagiarize yourself also. If you've turned something in a different class and you try to use that assignment here, that's plagiarism. Don't plagiarize yourself. Don't use other students' work. Don't cut and paste from the internet. All of these are plagiarism. You will fail the entire course, right? And then it tells you a list of the things I will be doing, my responsibilities, right? That I'll be logging in, that I'll be giving you feedback, that I'll be collecting things. The syllabus is a binding document. However, I might make changes to the schedule. If I do, I will communicate that clearly to you. There's also an addendum on Canvas that tells you about disabilities, the benefits that you have if you have certain disabilities. There are accommodations available to you. So make sure to familiarize yourself with that addendum as well. That will be important. If you have any questions at all, please let me know. I will be happy to help in any way that I can. I'm really looking forward to this class. I think it's going to be a good one. If you have questions, let me know. I will begin seeing you online.